what happens? Shabbos follows Yontif. Now, just like there's a din of Tchumim by Shabbos, there's a din of Tchumim by Yontif. By Yontif as well. One has to go ahead and not walk out 2,000 amas. Yontif following the Shabbos, or Shabbos following a Yontif. Is one able to make 2 Eruvin or not? That is machlokis that we're going to see in the Mishnah. Can you go ahead, for example, and make one day an Erev going in that direction as opposed to this, and the next day an Erev going in that direction as opposed to that, or no? It's big machlokis, the Rabbi Yehuda, Rabbi Eliezer, and the Chachamim. Says the Mishnah on Lamed Ches Amid Aleph. Lamed Ches Amid Aleph. And for those who've asked me a million times, Penny Fisher is still located here in Brooklyn. Penny Fisher is still located in Brooklyn. And there he is, living color. He doesn't have that Ukrainian look about him. He's here.
First Pesach at home? No.
We did weekend.
Holidays. Yeah,
We did.
There's a master.
If Yuri Greenfield doesn't go, then I don't go. That's just the way that I put it.
Ukrainian master to translate?
Yes, it's happened this year.
Yuri?
Okay.
That
Can you
noise is
just
so
get a backdrop from Ukraine?
That was fun.
Okay.
That was fun.
Hey, Ellie. How's it going, Ellie?
No dancing.
Yeah. Who's
Penny, orange is the new black.
What did he say? Because he's got diamond this year.
You can always go to 18 First Day Road.
How's your wife taking it?
Okay,
They don't know
enough. It's good to see
No, they don't
Pizzatelio
know.
in the house.
We got the plane, Rabbi. We're going to Vegas.
Okay, fine. Go to Vegas.
What happened? The plane left without him?
Okay, anyway, let's go. Says the Mishnah. Says the Mishnah. Rabbi Eliezer says, Yontif asamich l'Shabbos, bein lefnei mei mechreh. Whether Yontif falls out on Friday or Yontif falls out on Sunday, ma'arav adam shnei Eruvin, a person's capable of making 2 Eruvin. Right. V'oimer, Eruv b'rishon lemizrach, u'b'sheni l'mayriv. So one day it could be in this direction. Guys, if you go make an Erev, you're going 4,000 in that direction, and you're losing your 2,000 in this direction. Remember, Erev Tchumim, you have 2,000 directionally like this. If you go extend it in this direction, east, you lose it in the west, and vice versa. This is a huge chiddush. A huge chiddush. I can make 2 Eruvim. One Erev is going to be 4,000 amas one day in one direction, and the next 4,000 in the other direction. Says Rabbi Eliezer, in fact, one can do that. One can do that.
Specifying which day?
Yeah, for sure. You're Thursday night. You got to go Thursday night to go ahead and be kind of shvisa for Friday, and you got to go on Shabbos Friday to be kind of shvisa on Shabbos. Yeah. So, well, you could send food. You could send food. We'll see. Again, I don't want Breira. I want 2 Eruvin. Breira would only be Mavara one for me. I got both. No, you're picking. The question is, can you do it in the first place? It could be you can't do it in the first place. The side to the sugya is, do we view Yontif and Shabbos as one kedusha? And if so, only one Erev is you're only capable of making one Erev, or do you view them as 2 separate kedushas, and then you can make 2 Eruvim? Rosh Hashanah is tomorrow's daf. In Yonif Yomi. Guys, tomorrow's daf. Tomorrow's daf is Rosh Hashanah. 2 days Yontif is midday. That's yeah. Okay, now that's the okay now. So he says that if you make an Eruv the first day, you make an Eruv the second day. One Mizrach, one the Ma'ariv, conversely the same thing. Adam Shnei Eruvin, Eruv b'rishon l'Mizrach b'shen l'Ma'ariv, or b'rishon l'Ma'ariv b'shen l'Mizrach. Eruv b'rishon u'b'sheni, right? Knei b'nei iri. Let's say he wants to say on day number 1, let's say Yontif going to Shabbos. Yontif, I got a kiddush. I got a kiddush and I got to walk 4,000 amish in that direction. Great. But now the next day, I don't want that Erev. You know why? I want the capability of walking back that way another 2,000 amish. I don't want to lose it. I want to be B'nai Iri. I want to be like a person of my city. Right? I want to be like a person of my city. What's the din? Again, I'm saying, maybe that's what the chiluk is, that I have no Erev. In other words, with B'nai Iri mean I I go back to the norm of the city. You'll see 2,000 in each direction. Very good. That's the same thing. The same thing. So he says, Eruvin b'rishon ub'sheni k'bnei iri. Eruvin b'sheni ub'rishon k'bnei iri. V'chachamim maimrim oy ma'ariv l'ruach achas. Now, guys, listen to this lashon because the Gemara is going to shtelz us. Oy either ma'ariv l'shnei either ma'ariv l'ruach achas. Go ahead and make an erev in one direction. Oy ein a ma'ariv kol ikar, or don't make an erev at all. Or you ma'ariv l'shnei yamim, or one erev for 2 days. Or ein a ma'ariv kol ikar. Apparently, you're saying the same thing in a different way. What are you saying? I can make one erev, which means what? I can't make 2 erevs. So for 2 days, I can only go in that direction. Correct? If I can only make one erev, that means Yontif. I put the erev. That erev is not going to be for Yontif and for Shabbos. Good. Or I can make for 2 days one erev. That it's a tongue twist. It's the same thing. The Gemara is going to ask why you said in that lashon.
So if you use the first day,
Why not?
because it was
I was kind of shvisa, right? And what?
And now for the second day, you want to cut it. It's over. The first day's over, so I got to make a new.
What?
A new.
How do you know you could? Maybe it's one kedusha and that's it.
That would be all. Let's say it's 2.
Then that's Rabbi Eliezer said you could. That's Rabbi Eliezer. This is machlokes in Rabbi Eliezer and the Chachamim. We're going to say the Chacham is a suffix, but again, it's gebait whether it's gebait on 1 or 2, right? It's gebait on 1 or 2. Whether machmir. We're going to say the Chacham on the supping and the machmir. So we have the Metzias, guys. Like Rabbi Eliezer, I can make 2 Eruvin. Like Rabbi Eliezer, I can make 2 Eruvin. 2 kedushas, 2 Eruvin, and even though each one is directionally opposite of the other, one is going east, one's going west, and vice versa, or one Erev and one non-Erev, no, that's no problem. You can do that. Says the Chum, no, you can only go ahead. You can make one for 2 days, or in 2 days you can make one, which is again seems to be saying the same thing. Okay. Says Kate said Yaseh, what should you do? You want to make according to Rabbi Eliezer, I guess. Kate said Yaseh, Malicha b'Rishon. You bring your food on day number 1, on, let's say Thursday night. Umachshechalav, and then you go ahead what? And wait till nightfall. So Ben Hashmashos, you were there. V'naitloi, right? You take it. Ubaloi, and then you come home. B'sheni, Friday night, right before Ben Hashmashos, right? Machshechalav, you wait by the place you want to make the erev. For oichloi, and you eat it because you can't bring it, right? You can't bring it. It's already Shabbos. You can't carry it. Ubaloi, and come home.
Rabbi,
you gain by traveling. Mistaka be'eruva, and you mistaka what? By making what? Making a good erev.
Rabbi, if he lost his
and eating your erev. You have to be nashmashas. You have to be there. Either you're there or your food's there.
You make an erev in the country. You make an erev.
What are you making? What kind of erev are you making?
You want to go for the Tamar.
Okay, so what did you do?
So you don't go Friday afternoon to.
Okay, and what do you do then?
You put whatever you want over there.
And how do you know it's going to be there, Ben Hashmashas? In other words, you can put it there. You can put it there Friday afternoon. You just got to make sure that what? Again, I don't know from the country. If Gaten's in their country. Yeah, no, I tell my kids don't know about concrete. They think concrete grows in the ground. They don't know that there's such thing as grass. Sorry.
Rabbi,
Again, I don't know. Again, it's a makom mekshuma. You have to make sure it's there. You have to make sure it's there. That's what we've been learning all along, right?
So if you walk down Shabbos and it's not there, then you can go further.
Well, again, it's a suffix then. It depends. Do you say right? Right or no? It's a suffix then, right? It's again, the easy way to do it is go there Ben Hashmashas. Without the food, you go there. If you're there beraglov with yourself physically, you're kind of shrisa, then you know everything's good.
Which country? Well, you made early Shabbos and
You know people who made Erev Tchumim in the country? Really? people do. Where are they walking?
You already voted now. Now
What's
there's
that? What's that?
Of course, I'm I just don't. Again, I never was in a. I know certain people who in Kerestir, they had to go ahead and make an Erev to work to a certain point. In Kerestir, some people go to Kerestir, but the people who are normal, who stay local, don't,
Like
you know.
like me.
Yeah, very local penny. There we go.
Rabbi, can I understand the mechanics of how this works?
Sure.
On the second day, how is he getting, if he's kind of shvisa the first day on the east, and he put them both down before. So now the second day, so you're saying, okay, so now after the first day Yontif, go to where you put the second Erev on the west, stand there and be kind of shvisa there. How did he get there? He's not allowed to go anything to that direction. He can't get there.
You're asking the Gemara's kasha.
Oh.
It's not 2,000 amas, it's 1,000 amas. You're asking the Gemara's kasha. You're getting it. Again, if I'm Kona 2,000, I'm stuck. I can't leave the city.
Oh.
What happens? Okay, Chaim's asking a Gvaldige kasha, guys. Listen to Chaim's question. He's saying, if you're Kona 2,000 amas to the east, I can't walk a blessed foot to the west. I'm stuck. I lost it, right? I got 4,000 to the east, but I'm stuck. So how in the world was I able to take my Erev 2,000 amas to the west? Okay, this Gemara is going to ask that. The Gemara is going to answer, you needed to go 3,000 amas, not 4,000 amas. So you only put your Erev at the 1,000 mark. Therefore, you are allowed to, you only lost 1,000, but you were allowed to walk 1,000 in the other direction. Very geschmack. You good?
Yeah, at the end of the day, he's only got 4,000 amas.
At the end of the day, you asked the kasha. At the end of the day, you got the teretz.
Thank you.
And everyone's happy.
Yes.
Yes. Baruch, you're lying. Okay, says the Gemara Vaita. So now, if you go ahead and you ate your Erev, so you mistake of that. Nechal b'rishon, Eruvin l'rishon, ve'eruv l'sheni. Okay, if he eats the first day, there's no. Okay, now. Amar Rabbi Eliezer, moedim atem li, shein shtei kedushos. So he said, you should be moeded to me, they're two kedushas. Let's see what Rashi says on this. Right? On the last Rashi before the Mishnah. Moedim atem li, shein beis kedushos. The Karmisai, you said, if he eats the Erev, ein eruv l'sheni. The kedusha achas, havle kichad yuma aricha. It should be like one day, like Nussi said. The yikna ben hashmasha shel rishon l'shnayim. The kim the shtei kedusha saying yachal arav nami lebeis ruchais. Since what? It's since it's two kedushas, you can make it two directions. Okay, we're going to see the conversation between Rebbe Eliezer and the Gemara and the Chacham and the Gemara. This is one of the few places we're going to pass on like Rebbe Eliezer. Despite Rebbe Eliezer was shamuti, he was a Talmud of Shammai, or he was in Chayrim, and usually the halacha is like in Shemaim. They said the halacha is like Rebbe Eliezer b'chol makom, but we don't pass him like him. That's like staying the Gemara b'Mitzvah. No, there's certain people that were like beyond this world. Rabbi Shammai said, "Lots of love, the halacha is like Rabbi Shammai, right?" He said, Rebbe Eliezer says the Baskel came out and said the halacha is like Rebbe Eliezer. Rabbi Shua said, "Torah Rebbe Shemaim he." You don't listen to the Baskel. So again, says the Gemara. Now we had a funny lashon, guys. What was the funny lashon? Said the Chachamim, you get ruach achas for 2 days or 2 days ruach achas. Says the Gemara, the ruach achas ma'ininu. What do you mean you get ruach achas? It means the shteyamim. If you make an erev in one direction, it's that direction for 2 days. Correct? You make an erev, it's an erev in that direction for 2 days. Then it says the shteyamim ma'ininu. Then when it says if you make an erev for 2 days. In my mind, it's the ruach achas. It's for one direction. Hainu kamaisa. You're saying the same thing in different way. So what were the Chachamim commenting on when they said that? What did they mean? It says Mahachi Kamalei. This is Rabban and Rabbi Eliezer. This is what they told Rabbi Eliezer. Iyata moida. Don't you admit she'ein ma'arvin liyom echad chetziav l'tzafayin v'chetziav l'darim ruach achas. Right? You can't go ahead and make it multi-directional. I can't say I need 1,000 amis in the north and 1,000 amis in the south. It's either all the north or the south, correct? That's what the Chacham said to Rebbe Eliezer. Ruach achas, it's got to be one ruach.
What is that, Uman?
Penny posted sitting there with
Is that Uman in the background?
I'll show it to you. Look at Penny's background, guys. He has the
Like, yeah,
skin. Yeah, this is Penny. How can I get Penny there? Penny.
Wow, it's like we're really there, and we're still home.
Go ahead, cover me more. Exactly.
So guys, so you might that directionally, you can't go half the Durham, half the south. That's what he said. L'ruach achas. Rebbe Eliezer would be minded to that, correct? So that's what they said to him. Now, Hachi kamalei Rabban Rebbe Eliezer. Iyat maida shem arvin liyayim echad chetzev l'tzafim v'chetzev l'Durham. Amalehem aval. Yeah, it's true. It's true. Amaida. Kishem shem arvin liyayim echad chetzev l'Durham v'chetzev l'tzafim. Just like on one day you can't go multi-directional. Kach ema arvin l'shtei yomim yom echad l'mizrach v'yom echad l'mayrev. So too in 2 days you can't go multi-directional. That's what they told him. You know, it's the lashon of the Mishnah. Chum said, "Oymayrev l'ruach achas," meaning you can't go either to the north or the south. And just like you can't go on one day in 2 directions, you can't go in 2 days in 2 directions. That's what they were telling him. For Rebbe Eliezer says, no, there's a difference. I'll tell you the difference. Hasam kedusha achas. Over there, when you went in one direction, the other end, there's one kedusha. Therefore, you can't go north-south on Shabbos or north-south on Yom Tov, either day itself. Hacha over here, base kedushas. Since Shabbos and Yom Tov are 2 separate kedushas, therefore you can make an erev for either one, both. That's the now. So that was the conversation that took place with the Chachamim questioning Rebbe Eliezer. Now we're going to go to the conversation Rebbe Eliezer questioning the Chachamim. What did they say? So Amalem Rebbe Eliezer, do you not admit Shem Iriv Biraglov B'Yom Rishon that you could go ahead on Erev on Thursday, walk with your legs, right? You go ahead on Thursday, walk with your legs. You can walk out there now, and that Ma'ariv Biraglov B'Yom Sheni that you could do it also on second day. Now, so aren't you minded you could do that, right? Nechal Eruvin B'Yom Rishon Ein Yitzalav B'Yom Sheni. And what if the Erev was eaten on day 1, you can't go out on Yom Sheni? What? Question. According to the Chachamim, you wouldn't need another Erev since it's 1 day. You wouldn't need another Erev. So Amaloi Abel, it's true. So he said to him, Hala I, but surely Rebbe Eliezer says, Beis Kedushas Hein. So l'chayra, you'd be maida that if you walked out on the second day, you would be a good Erev. But why? Why would you have to walk out on the second day according to you? So it says the Gemara, Rabbanan Svuki Misafkalu. The Rabbanan were in doubt. The Rabbanan were not sure. For Hacha l'chumra, and they went l'chumra, right? You're not able to go ahead and make it in 2 directions. You can't make 1 day east and 1 day west. That's one chumra. For Hacha l'chumra. And a second chumra they made that if you ate the Erev, then there's no Erev for the Sheni. That food has to be there for the second day as well. Guys, they're playing both ends of the coin. They're saying the following. You can't make 2 Eruvim Amad on Yom Tov and Shabbos. You can't. What happens if you made 1 Erev and you want to use it a second day? If the food's not there, is it good? No, it's not good. That's what they said. Ein Eruv Erev. Freg Rebbe Eliezer to the Chachamim, why should it not be a good Erev? If it's 1 Kedusha, you don't need the food there the second day. The food was there Thursday. You don't need it there Friday night. But you might, if it wasn't there Friday night, it won't be an Erev. So therefore, why must that be? Because there's 2 Kedushas. Kedushas Yom Tov and Kedushas Shabbos. So therefore, and if you're minded there's 2 Kedushas, then I should be able to make an Erev this way on 1 day and this way on the other day. That's what Rabbi Eliezer asked them. What did they answer? Taka, it's not, for sure without a shadow of a doubt that it's 1 Kedusha. We're misupik, maybe it's 1 Kedusha. And therefore will be machmir in both instances. Vis-a-vis that you need the food there Friday night, that's because maybe what? It's 2 Kedushas. And therefore I'll need a second Erev. and vis-a-vis go this way and that way, maybe it's only one kedusha, and I only can go one direction. So I'm playing both sides of the fence. Was that a fastball in the outside corner, or everyone was good? No, Chaim, what's wrong?
I'm sorry. No, I'm fine.
You have it look like you have an upset stomach. I mean,
For me?
yeah, you're like,
No, I'm fine.
are you good? Everyone's good? Baruch Hashem. Okay. Amru Rebbe Eliezer. They said to Rebbe Eliezer, aren't you moida that you can't go ahead and make an Erev b'tchila on Yontif? If you didn't make it Erev Yontif, correct? Can you make it on Yontif l'Shabbos? Now, if it's two separate kedushas, why not? Hailai kedusha achasi. So it's a riot's kedusha achas. The reason why you can't, guys, if it's two separate kedushas, you should be able to make it on Yontif for Shabbos, but you had to make it Erev Yontif. So he says, there's a difference. We're going to get into this more. This Hachana de Rabbi. Rabbi's famous Hachana from the Gemara Beitza, that the reason why you can't go ahead and make it on Yontif has nothing to do whatsoever with Erev Dika problem. It's a Hachana Dika problem. It's a Yontif Dika problem. So that's Rabbi Eliezer.
But if you have to make a yontif, you don't have to make it. You just carry the food. There you go.
We're talking about walking out the Tchum. Yontif.
Right. So I'll carry the food because you're allowed to carry it. If you're allowed to make a
Yankel, can I go ahead, carry the food, and make an Erev on Yontif? The answer is no.
That's what I'm saying.
You have to make it Erev Yontif. Good?
You don't need.
No, Erev Tchum is not.
I know.
It's a dinner Tchumin by Yontif. If you're in the country for Yontif, people do that. I heard there's a rumor that people go to the country for Yontif. Azamin rumor. They don't get enough in the summer, they need more. They go up to the country, like place. And what do? They make an Erev. Tchumim. Right? They just change the different foods, right? Okay, so to put the matzahs down, put simas down. Anyway, so l'chol apachas. So it's geshmak kasha, right? L'chayra, if it's two kedushas, go ahead and make it on Yontif. And for the Gemara, you're right. I'll Erev I could. I'll Sachana I can't. It's a whole different problem. Very geshmak. Guys, are you here? It's a chilik between Erev and Achana. It's a chilik Erev and Achana. No one says Achana. No one says Achana. No one can do it. You can't make the Erev yet. Tanabana. Erev beragla b'yom rishon. If you went ahead and you didn't use food as a means of being kind of shvisa, guys, you used your feet. Ma'arav beragla b'yom sheni. You're able to go ahead and make an Erev on the second day, right?
In any direction?
Yeah. You have to make it. Erev beragla b'yom rishon. Ma'arav beragla sheni. Nechal eruva b'yom rishon. Ein yaitza lav b'yom sheni. If your Erev gets eaten, that's it. You're stuck. You can't go ahead and make an Erev. These are the words of Rabbi. So it's only good for one day. Why? Because Rabbi must hold shtei kedushas, guys. Rabbi must hold shtei kedushas, correct? Divrei Rabbi. Rabbi Yehuda says, Harizeh chama gamal. It's a suffix. Chama gamal means you nishtahi and nishtaher. You're somewhere stuck in the middle. Stuck in the middle, right? You're limited to 1,000 amas in each direction. Rabbi Shimon Gamliel, Rabbi Yishmael, B'nai Shel Rabbi Yochanan, B'braika Aimim. Erev b'ragla b'rishon, ein ma'arav b'ragla b'sheni. You don't have to. Nechal eruva b'yam rishon, yaitzel b'sheni. You could go out the second day. So you have three shittas, guys: Rabbi Yehuda, and Rabbi Shimon Gamliel, and Rabbi Yishmael. What did Rabbi say? You have to make what? Two. Why? Obviously, you must hold this two kedushas. Rabbi Shimon Gamliel and Rabbi Yishmael said you don't have to. Obviously, you must hold one kedusha. Rabbi Yehuda said it's a chamar gamo. He must hold sfuki masafkalu. He must hold the suffix. Guys, three opinions reflecting three possible shittas. Like Rabbi, you have to make a new one because Rabbi holds it's two kedushas. Like Rabbi Shimon Gamliel and Rabbi Yishmael, B'nai Shel Rabbi Yochanan Breika, you don't have to. Obviously, one kedusha. Like Rabbi Yehuda, that you're chamar gamo, you're stuck in the middle. Chamar means the chamar is pulling you one way and the camel the other way. Obviously, it's mesupik. So those were three different shittas. Amarav, halacha kedalit zekanim halalu, which we're going to meet in a second. V'aliba the Rebbe Eliezer. So let's go through. What does Rabbi Eliezer say? How many kedushas, guys? Two kedushas, right? So the Allah is like Rabbi Eliezer. Why? Because four Zakanim agree with him. Who are those four Zakanim? Let's meet them. One, Rabbi Shimon Gamliel. Two, Rabbi Shmuel ben Shel Yochanan Breika. I'm surprised no one's asking me a question. Take a look. What do they say? Look at the top. Rabbi Shimon Gamliel, Rabbi Shmuel ben Shel Yochanan Oimim. Erev Beragla Berishain. Ein Ma'arav Lag B'Sheni. Nechalei Ruva Yom Rishain. Yitzla B'Sheni. You know why? It's one kedusha. You don't have to do it again. And if there's no food there, big spritz. You didn't lose anything. The Gemara is going to ask that. The Gemara is going to ask, how can Rav tell me that they agree that there's two kedushas like Rabbi Eliezer from their shita guys? Clearly, there's only one kedusha. Again, take a look. What's our rule of thumb? If one erev works, one kedusha. If you can do two eruvim, two kedushas. Take a look at the top. Look at the top of the page. Top line. Follow along with Uncle Rabbi Stern. Rabbi Shimon Gamliel, Rabbi Shmuel ben Shel Yochanan Breika Oimrim. Erev beraglev berishain. If you made one erev, ein ma'arev beraglev b'sheni. You don't have to make a second one. Why not? There's one kedusha. There you got it. Continues the Gemara. Nechalei ruva b'yam rishain. If it's eaten the first day, yatzla b'sheni. You're still yaitzi. You can go out in the sheni based on the first one. Why? Because you don't eat it there. Only one is necessary. Okay, so now you got a problem. Amarav, halacha kedalit zekanim alalu ba'alibid Rabbi Eliezer, that is two kedushas. Amar base kedusha saying the Eluhain, who is four zekanim? Rabbi Shimon Gamliel, Rabbi Shmuel ben Shel Yochanan Breika. There's your problem right there. Who's number three? Rabbi Eliezer, Rabbi Shimon, and who's number four? Rabbi Yosef ben Yehuda Slimusoy. That's the Stamish is ready made Stamish is like him. Others say Chamina Rabbi Eliezer ben Shemua, Umafik Rabbi Yosef ben Yehuda, and just delete Rabbi Yehuda ben Yehuda Slimusoy. Trade the Gemara question. Rabbi Shimon Gamliel, Rabbi Shmuel, we heard they say it's only one kedusha because they said you only need one erev. One erev does the job.
Laser, don't we say in Havdalah kedusha Shabbos v'kedusha's Yom Tov Hivdalta?
Okay, you're right. Again, that's certainly in a. What would the best word be? Certainly, in a metaphysical way, the kedusha of Shabbos is more chomer than Yontif, right?
We say Hivdalta. In other words, we say there's
saying le'inyan this, right? That the kedusha was speaking about. But certainly you're correct. There's kedusha Shabbos, kedusha Yontif, and le'inyan that. When we're speaking le'inyan erev, vis-a-vis the halach of erev tchumim that apply by both. Do we extend that kedusha to both, or limited? Good. Says the Gemara. So l'chayra, you have a kasha. They hold one kedusha. How can you say two kedushas? So what did we do yesterday when we had a problem? No problem. Switch around the shittas, right? Mendy loves this terrace. Switch around the shittas, right? Just switch it around. It says Gemara ibcha shimon Gemara epach. Switch around. Rabbi Shimon Gamliel and Rabbi Shmuel, they both hold what? You have to make a new erev. You can't go out in the second day. If the first day was eaten up, you can't go out. Why? Because it's two kedushas. Switch it around. Ihachi is switching it around. Hainu Rebbe. They're saying the same thing as Rebbe. Guys, look at the Amid Aleph. Look at the Amid Aleph. We have Tana Rabbanon, 3 lines to the bottom. Tana Rabbanon, Erev Baraglo B'Yam Rishon. You went out on the first day. Ma'arev Baraglo B'Yam Sheni. You go ahead and make an Erev the second day. Nechle Ruva B'Yam Rishon. Ein Yaitzalah B'Yam Sheni. Why? Why do you have to make two Eruvin? Why can't you go out? Because it's two Kedushas. That's Rebbe, correct? Now we have Rabbi Yehuda, and then we have this third Shita. You switched them around. Guys, look at me. You said A, you said B, and you said C. Now you just told me C is A. So if C is A, you wouldn't need to tell. They should have been before B. They should have been agreeing with Rebbe, right? They're saying the same thing as Rabbi. There's two kedushas. Bishleim, if you don't switch it around, we have 3 opinions. A, B, and C. A, it's 2 kedushas. B, I'm a supik. And C, there's only 1 kedusha. But now you're telling me C doesn't mean 1 kedusha. It means 2 kedushas. So C is not C. C is A. It's the same thing. Good. Same thing. Says the Gemara, Okay, easy way out, no problem. We have the letter Vav. The letter Vav does a lot of good things. What do we do with the letter Vav? And so says Reb Shimon Gamliel, like Rabbi. V'chein. It's very geschmack. So therefore he's saying the same thing. Fred Gemara, how many opinions did Rav say, guys? That two kedushas. 4, correct? Really, there's 5. There's Rabbi. You're telling me Reb Shimon Gamliel and Rabbi Yishmael ben Yechim Racha agree with Rabbi, along with Rabbi Yossi ben Yehuda and Reb Shimon ben Elazar. Why don't you include Rabbi? Why did Rav limit it to 4 sekanim? He could have extended it. Rabbi also holds the same thing. Rabbi also holds this 2 kedushas. For Lachshav Nami Rabbi, and for the Gemara, Rabbi Tani La V'Lei Sfirah. Rabbi learned it, but he doesn't. He's learning the opinion of Rabbi Eliezer, who says this 2 kedushas, but he in fact does not hold that way. So if that's the case, Rabban and Nami Tana La V'Lei Sfirah, the 4 Chachamim you mentioned, they also learned it and don't hold that way. And for the Gemara, Rav Gemara Gamala, Rav had a Messiah. Rav had a Messiah. In fact, that these 4 Tanoim held their what? 2 kedushas. Okay, so let's summarize what we saw so far. Machlekes in the Mishnah between Rabbi Eliezer and the Chachamim, vis-a-vis, can you make 2 Eruvim in 2 separate directions on Shabbos? Go Shabbos and Yontif, right? Shabbos and Yontif, Yontif Shabbos. Can you do it? If you hold 2 kedushas, you could do it. If you hold 1 kedusha, then you can. Says Rabbi Eliezer, I hold 2 kedushas. Therefore, you can make 2 separate Eruvim in 2 separate directions. And in fact, the halacha follows that. Because Rav found 4 zekanim, Rabbi Yishmael ben Yechim, Rabbi Chaim Broika, Rabbi Shimon Gamliel, Rabbi Yossi ben Yehuda, and Rabbi Elazar, and Rabbi Shimon, they all held like that. So therefore, since the 4 zekanim held like that, we hold like Rabbi Eliezer. The Chachamim disagreed. They were mesupik. They held, we don't know for sure. Maybe yeah, maybe not. And they were machmir, saying you can't make it 2 directions because maybe it's 1 kedusha, and even in one direction you have to make sure that there's food there because maybe there's 2 kedusha, maybe there's 2 kedushas. So I need food for the second day. That's what the shittas of the Chacham. That's what we saw so far. Says the Gemara Vaita. Kinoach nafshe the Rav Huna. When Rav Huna was nifta, Huna was a Talmud mufik of Rav. So when Rav Huna was nifta, Ayel Rav Kista lemirma the Rav. He waited till after his death. I don't know what this has to do with anything, but he waited and he asked the following stira. He asked the following stira Rav. He asked the stira and Rav onto Rav. On one hand, Amar Rav, halacha kidalas zekanim. On one hand, he said the halacha is like the 4 zekanim. Excuse me. 4 zekanim. How many kedushas, guys? 2, right? 2 kedushas. Very good. So on one hand, he said there's 2 kedushas. He says the Gemara, mi Amar Rav halacha kidalas zekanim. Ba'li b'Rav Eliezer dama shtei kedushas hein. V'o itmar Shabbos v'Yontif. Rav Amar. This is the first sugya in Masechta Beya. Shabbos v'Yontif. Rav Amar noildo b'zeh asura b'zeh. If it's what born on one day, it's asa on the other day. Now, if there's 2 kedushas, it should be muta from one day to the next. Ella, when it's asa, it must be 1 state of kedusha, right? Yeah. Why should it be asa from one day to the next? Bishlema, the day it's born, it's noilat, right? That's noilat. No, we know when it's born. You know when it's born. It's born on Yontif, and the next day Shabbos, the Keneshesa. Then why not? Why can't you eat it? Bishleim, if you tell me, right, there's 1 kedusha, makes sense. 1 kedusha. So the issa that existed on the first day would extend to the second day as well. But if you're going to hold what? That there's 2 kedushas, you should be able to eat it. Amar Rabba, Chasa mishum achanas. Stop with the Erev. Stop with the 2 kedushas. Stop with the 1 kedusha. It's a Yontif problem. It's a Hachana problem. It's not an Erev problem. Hachana, you can't be making from Shabbos to Yontif or Yontif to Shabbos. It's a Hachana problem. Nothing to do with Erev. So stop. It's not a kasha. The Tanya, it says by the Mon, Vahaya Bayoim Hashishi V'hachinu. Now, Yom HaShishi was Chayil, correct? It was Friday. It wasn't Kaddish. On Chayil, you prepare. So what's the limud? Chayil meichin l'Shabbos, v'chayil meichin l'Yontif. Ve'ein Yontif meichin l'Shabbos, ve'ein Shabbos meichin l'Yontif, and you can't go ahead. And therefore, I can't. Why that is achana? The Rishonim discussed it. Why this is achana? But you can't. The fact that you can't go ahead and egg that was born on Yontif, you can't eat on the Shabbos. That consequently follows right afterwards. Is only because of Hakana, not because of one Kedusha or two Kedushas. But this, I think it's a Shiloh. That's a Shiloh. Yeah.
That's the Rabbanan, the Erev is the Rabbanan. The Shus.
Hmm?
Oh, I'm sorry. Erev is the Rabbanan. It's like a tree. Erev is the Rabbanan. The whole Erev is the Rabbanan, right? And the Hachana is the Rabbanan.
Again, where's the Achana? This is not a case of Erev. It's a case of egg boarding Yontif.
Erev and the second day Yontif is Hachana, right?
What? On Yontif itself.
So what's the issue then? If it's two Rabbanan.
So if Achana is a Shvus, maybe Achana is not a Shvus. Maybe instead of maybe Haya b'Yom HaShishi, it's a pasuk. It's a pasuk. Haya b'Yom HaShishi v'chinu.
You shouldn't have taken it outside. You shouldn't take it in. You shouldn't take it outside. You shouldn't take the one in on Shabbos. That's why he had it. Right. They were told to remind you.
Okay. Says the Gemara. What should he do? He should bring the Erev on Thursday night, and wait Thursday night. Bring it home. Friday night, this is right obviously before Shabbos, and and now we can't bring it back because this is like for Oichla and eats it. 1 second. When he puts the Erev Yontif, it's Hachana vis-a-vis the second day. When he went ahead and he has to put it to Banish Mashas, correct? He's putting it down. When he puts it down, you're being Mechin from Yontif to Shabbos. Because the Havamina of the Gemara is when will you kind of Shvisa, guys? When it's what? It's the beginning, it's the end of the day, or the beginning of the day. Says the Gemara. Do you think it's the end of Friday that's kaina, and therefore you are meichen because you did an action on Friday for Shabbos? Guys, we can view Bein HaShmashos as the beginning as an end. We can view Bein HaShmashos as the end of Friday, or we can view it as the beginning of Shabbos. If you view it as the end of Friday, you're being meichen from Shabbos to Yontif to Shabbos. If, however, you view it it's the beginning of Shabbos, you weren't meichen for Shabbos. Says the Gemara that's the teretz. Amalei Rabbi. Do you think the end of the day, meaning the beginning of Bein HaShmashos is Koina Erev? Tchilas Hayom Koina Erev. The beginning of Shabbos is Koina Erev. That's the end. The Shabbos Mechina La'atzmai, and Shabbos is preparing for itself. So therefore, it's not a problem. Elamiata. So we said the following. Guys, we had the following child the other day. You have a wooden kli that is the din of a full yom. You put it in the mikvah, and you're waiting for Bein HaShmashos, you put it in the mikvah, and you're waiting for nighttime for it to be what? Tahar. You have Tev Ma'aser Rishon in there, and you say that when it turns nightfall, that the Truma, it should be Trumas Ma'aser. So we said that it's not Tameh, and Trumas Ma'aser separated, because we say it comes to Basachas. But the Inyan Erev not. Mom's the teretz who said the Inyan Erev not. Why? Inyan Erev not. It's obviously because it was unedible. Because we say that the Erev is Chal at the end of Friday, not the beginning. So you have a stira. You're telling me the Erev is Chal when? At the beginning of Shabbos, the end of Bein HaShmashos. The Login is telling me the opposite. The Login is telling me it's Chal at the end of the day, meaning the beginning of Bein HaShmashos. Says the Gemara, Login, that's a wooden kli, that's a full ya'im. The Inyan Suda, that's the kasha, right? Says the Gemara, El Me'ata Ya'iru B'Login. Stop. Everything I just spoke out is there. I'll say it one more time. We had this guys, look at me. We had a shot like this. You had a kli. In this kli was Maisa Rishon. You wanted to be Mafish Trumas Maisa. If it's Tameh and this was the Trumas Maisa, it would be no good. But it's not, it is Tameh until nightfall, but it's not upgeshade until nightfall. So we say the chalois of nightfall and when it becomes Truma takes place simultaneously, so you don't have a problem with it contracting Tumah. Avaloy le'inyan Erev. Now, why not le'inyan Erev? Pashtus, the reason is because the Erev began at the end of the day. At the end of the day it was Tameh. You had to wait till nightfall. So now you have a stira. From here, you're telling me you can be making it from Friday to Shabbos because it's really Shabbos. From logging, you tell me it's still Friday. That's the stira. What's the answer? That's not the problem there. In order for something to be an Erev, you have to be able to eat it during the day. In order for something to be an Erev, you have to be able to eat it during the day. Could you eat this during the day? No, it was unedible. You couldn't eat it. It was you couldn't. It wasn't mufresh trumas ma'isa. Since it was unedible that day in that state, it can't be an Erev. But einachinami, it's chal when on Shabbos. And for the Gemara, being a suda v'yoyim v'leka, you just suda that's roy for that time of day, and you don't have it. Elahad it nan. That we learned. Had it nan. That we learned. Rabbi Eliezer Oimer, Yontif Asamach l'Shabbos. If Yontif falls out next to Shabbos, Bein Lufneh, whether it's on a Friday, Bein Lefrei, whether it's on a Sunday, Ma'aravadim Shnei Eruvin, I have beinin Suda Aruyim Miboyoim, Beleka. Chaim Klagsman's question, guys. Chaim Klagsman's question. If I go ahead on Thursday, I put my Erev 2,000 amas to the east. Good? Right now. I do. How can I go ahead and then take it and put it in the west? It was inaccessible because I can't walk out. I lost it. Okay, so therefore, you have a problem. How could you go ahead and do that? And for the Gemara, mi sabis the manchal of the seif al payim ama. Do you think he put it at 2,000 into the east to extend 4,000? Not lakan u'b'seif al payim lakan. No, loy the manach lay b'seif elef ama lakan. He put it 1,000. He only had to go 3,000 amas to the kiddush. The bungalow colony Falls View was only a face. Falls View from Regency, there's a shmua that one way is good, one way is not good. I don't know where he get this stuff from. Who knows? Anyway, so Lake has to the point.
Definitely not from me.
Yeah, I can't imagine you walking outside the Tchum on Shabbos.
Exactly.
I can't imagine you walking to shul on Shabbos.
Exactly.
Regency is in the city, and Falls View is not.
Hark, who do I hear? Shimon, explain it to me. What's going on there with Falls View and that?
Regency is in the city, so you have the whole city, and from there you have the outskirts of the city is already by Camp Morris. That's all one city, and then you have 2,000 amas to go until Falls View. But Falls View is not in the city.
I got you.
Falls View, you have from 2,000 amas from Falls View, you measure 2,000 amas, and that's all you could go up the road.
Now Shimon has walked it, Rabbi. So you have to ask Shimon speaking from.
Forget walking it. I drove into the lake house. I know exactly what he's talking about. Do you count it from Kamaris or from Kantoritz's gas station? You don't even know where that is.
Wow, remember that on the corner?
Still there? It's still there?
Kantoritz's.
Oh my gosh. Label died. And then across the label is the waterfall coming down with decent water. It's still there. Oh my gosh. Okay, good. I'm not at Four Corners. I'm earlier. Kantoritz is earlier. Kantoritz right outside of Woodridge. Right outside.
I always told Label that he owned the wrong side of the street.
Okay, weiter.
I'm going to be up all night editing.
Let's go weiter. Okay, but guys, you have the answer now, right? So in other words, it's not he didn't put 2,000 here and he lost it over there. It's 1,000 here, 1,000 there. Therefore, since that's all within the parameters, the mail it was roy mi boy. Therefore, it's not a problem. It's not a problem. Yeah, 1,000 you could go. Elahadam Rabbi Yehuda Erev Baraglav Yamishain. This is the price that we cited above. Made an Erev with your feet. Yamishain on a Sunday. Ma'arev Baraglav Yom Sheni. You have to do the exact same thing on Shabbos. Erev Pas Yamishain. Ma'arev Pas Yom Sheni. You have to do the same thing. You can't mix and match your Erev. I ha kamechin yantif l'Shabbos. It's hachana. You're being mechin. In other words, any act of preparing, you're being mechin. Right? Says Rashi. But kamechin kishema arev b'raglav b'sheni miyantif l'Shabbos. Right? B'shleim arev b'sheni b'pas to ratzta. In other words, where's the hachana? Only if you use your legs. B'shleim if you use pas to ratzta, you can answer. The tchilas hayom kona. The beginning of the day is kona eruva the erev the pas. Shtika lemelakana. In other words, it's not achana. I'm taking the bread, I'm putting it there. Guys, I'm taking the bread, I'm putting it there, right? So whenever Bein Hashmashos begins, and I need it there, I need it there. When you're over here, when you walk, you have to announce the Erev. So Bishleima, if it's your first Erev, you're announcing an Erev, it's great. But if it's your second Erev, you have an existing Erev, and Shabbos is following you, correct? You're going to be Meichem Shabbos Niyantif. Because you know exactly when to walk and announce your Erev. You'd have to announce it exactly when, what? The Tchilas Yoim, when Shabbos begins, right? Not the Seif Yoim. So therefore, there's an act of Achana. Fred the Gemara Kasha, Gavaldik Kasha. So you're going to tell me, and the act of when you walk the Erev, when you walk it, it's not possible. Let's finish the Rashi, it's very nice. So now, El Erev V'Raglov, Salka Dayitach, the boy lemema shvisasi bimkomi. You'd have to announce my shvisa is in my makom. He's not able to mechaven directly when Shabbos begins. He'd have to say on Friday, guys, you have a window, right? You have a piece of bread. The bread is lying there. So exactly when it's supposed to be chal, it's going to be chal. If I'm using my body there, says Rabbi Yehuda, if I used it on Thursday night, I got to do it on Friday night. Comes Friday night, I'm there. And I have to announce my Erev. Do I know exactly when Shabbos begins? If I did, it wouldn't be in a shmush, it wouldn't be a suffix. So I don't know that. Memela, I'm going to have to say it earlier. If I say it earlier, I'm being mechin from Yontif to Shabbos. That's the problem. Which is achana. So the Gemara is going to answer, you don't have to say anything. You have to be there, right? So then you're like a piece of bread, right? You're like a piece of bread. So says the Gemara, very gishma. Me Shabbos, the Ozl ba'ami midi. You have to go there and say epis. The Ozl b'shasik. You went, you were quiet, right? V'yosef, and you sat. Kiman, Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri, who says the Amar Chetzi Hefker, Koina. Chetzi Hefker, that they don't have ownership. They're Kona Shvisa. So we're going to see this machlokas later on in the Gemara. We'll see Bez Hashem. And the Gemara says, I feel him Rabbanan. I can't let the figure Rabbanan Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri Ela b'Yashan. The guy's sleeping. He's not able to say anything. So if the guy's sleeping, just the fact that he's sleeping is not kind of shvisa. In other words, if a guy's sleeping, he's lying there, is he kind of shvisa? No. Well, because he's sleeping. Avon Benir, if he was awake, the boy Lemeiman Matzi Amar, if he was able to say he could, Commander Amadami. In other words, there's a difference between sleeping and being awake. He doesn't say anything. Since he could say something, even the Rabbanan would agree that it's good Erev and you don't have a problem of Achana. What? Sleeping, no.